Welcome to online discussion on Indian Penal Code. Section 112 provides that abettor, when liable to cumulative punishment for act abetted and for act done. You are not aware that abettor is always liable for the act which has been abetted. Suppose another offence is committed which is the probable consequence of that abatement, the abettor is also liable for that. That is section 111. You are what it provides? Liability of abettor when one act abated and different act done. Suppose the abettor has abated the commission of one act, but a different act is done by the person who has been abated. Further, in such case, the abettor will be liable for that act or that offence. The answer is, if the offence is the probable consequence of that act abated, then in such case the abettor is liable, otherwise not. Suppose somebody has abated a person to commit theft, but the person who has been abated, he commits a rape. For that, the abettor is not liable. Because that is not the probable consequence of that act. What is that? But when committing theft, somebody causes hurt, somebody causes death. For that, the abettor may be liable, because that is the probable consequence. What is the section 111? When an act is abated and a different act is done, the abettor is liable for the act done in the same manner and to the same extent as if he had directly abated it. As if he had directly abated it. So, but proviso says that as if he had not committed that act, but as if he had abated that act, directly abated, provided the act done was probable consequence of the abatement. The act must have some probable consequence of the abatement and was committed under the influence of the instigation. Two requirements: probable consequence of the abatement and was committed under the influence of the instigation or with the aid or in pursuance of the conspiracy or in aid pursuance to the conspiracy which constituted the abatement. Illustration will make you clear. A instigates a child to put poison into the food of Z with an intention to that abatement is there for committing murder of Z and gives him poison for that purpose. A instigated child to put poison to the food of Z in order to commit his murder. But the child, in consequent instigation, by mistake, puts the poison into the food of Y, which is by the side of that of Z. Here, if the child was acting under the influence of A's instigation, A was acting under the instigation, at the influence of this child. Suppose he had instigated, but after one day, this child put this poison in the food of Y. That may not be, it is under the influence of the instigation. If the child then and there, acting under the influence of the instigation, put poison to the food of Y, and the act was done under the circumstance of probable consequence, the act was done the probable consequence of that abatement, in such case, A is liable in the same manner and to the same extent as if he had instigated that child to put poison to the food of Y in order to kill him. So now, second illustration will, A instigates B to burn Z's house. A instigates B to burn Z's house, but B sets fire to the house and at the same time commits theft of property there. So there was no abatement for that is. What is there any problem? Hello? Hello? Okay. So A instigates B to burn Z's house. So here B sets fire to the Z's house. That is consequence of the abatement, but simultaneously committed theft. because that is for that theft, it will not be held, he will not be held as if he had abetted the commission of the theft. B and C break into the house and being resisted, suppose being instigated. So B and C break, that is another illustration. A instigates B and C to break into the inhabited house at night for the purpose of robbery and provide them with arms for the purpose. To break upon the house, committing robbery, provide arm for the purpose. B and C break into the house and being resisted by Z, one of the inmates murders Z here. So here, if that murder was that probable consequence of the abatement, A is liable for the punishment provided for the murder. So you are section 112. What it says, abator who is liable to cumulative punishment for an act abated and for act done. That means for both offences, when the abator is liable, cumulative punishment, both for the act abated and for the act done. What it says, if the act for which the abator is liable under the last preceding section means probable and natural consequence of the act, abatement, and under the influence of abatement some act is done, then the abator will be liable as if he had directly abated that offence. But what section 112 provides, if the act for which the abator is liable under the last preceding section is committed in addition to the act abated, another act was committed and constitutes a distinct offence, the abator is liable to punishment for each of the offence. So illustration, A instigates B to resist by force a distress made by a public servant. What is distress? Suppose that one this A instigates B, what? To resist by force a distress. Distress means what? Going to seize something, some property by a publisher. B consequently resists that distress. B resists that distress. In offering the resistance, B voluntarily causes grievous hurt to B, officer executing the distress. So as B has committed both the offence of resisting the distress and the offence of voluntarily causing grievous hurt, B is liable to punishment for both the offence. And if A knew that B was likely voluntarily to cause grievous hurt in resisting the distress, A will also be liable punishment for each of the offences. That is section 100. 113, liability for abator for an act effect caused by the act abated different from that intentionally by the abator. So this is when an act is abated with the intention on the part of the abator of causing a particular effect. Act was abated by the abator with an intention that a particular effect will be caused. An act for which the abator is liable in consequent abatement causes a different effect. Different effect was caused from that intended by the abator. The abator is liable for the effect caused in the same manner and to the same extent as if he had abated the act with the intention of causing that effect, provided he knew that the act abated was likely to cause that effect. Always here there is direct link, there is probable consequence of the act abated. Illustration, A instigates B to cause grievous hurt to Z. B, in consequence of the instigation, causes grievous hurt to Z. Z dies in consequence. That is effect. That is, the effect was death. Here, if A knew that the grievous hurt abated was likely to cause death, A is liable to the punishment with the punishment provided for murder. 114, abator present when offence is committed. It is a grievous offence, some more punishment is required. Whenever any person who is absent would be liable to be punished as an abator, is present. If a person, you are aware that even if a person is not present at the time of commission of offence, he has abated the offence, he is liable for that. But whenever any person who is absent would be liable to be punished as an abator, is present, when the act or offence for which he would be punishable is consequent abatement is committed, he shall be deemed to have committed such an act or offence. It is a deeming provision. When a person, suppose somebody abates the commission of an offence, and in his presence, when he was present, that act abated was committed, then it will be deemed that he has himself committed that offence. He shall be deemed to have committed such act or offence. This is section 114. If an act has been abated, and you will be, if a person will be liable for that abatement, punishment, an abator. If he is present when the act or offence for which he would be punishable in consequence of abatement is committed, is present at the time of commission of the act abated, he shall be deemed to have committed such an act, or is a deeming provision is there, it must be held that as if he had committed that offence. 115. Abatement of offence punishable with death or imprisonment for life if the offence not committed. It is there is an abatement for committing an offence which is punishable with death or imprisonment, and the abator is not present, then there will be less punishment. What is it? Whoever abates the commission of offence punishable with death or imprisonment for life. A person abates the commission of offence which is punishable with death or imprisonment for life, shall, if that offence be not committed in consequence of abatement, and no express provision is made by this court. If that offence be not committed in consequence, if that offence was not committed, somebody has abated the commission of offence which is punishable with death or imprisonment for life, and that person who was abated, he did not commit the offence, and no express provision is made by this court for the punishment of such abatement, he shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 7 years, and shall also be liable to fine. Now, if act causing harm be done in consequence, suppose harm is done, some harm is, but the act was not committed, the offence which has been abated, that was not committed. So then in such case, if there is no express provision in the act by penal code, then you will be punished with imprisonment which may extend to 7 years and fine. If act causing harm be done in consequence, and if any act for which the abator is liable in consequence of the abatement, and which causes hurt to any person, though no offence has not been committed, but in hurt is committed to any person is done, the abator shall be liable to imprisonment for either description for a term which may extend to 14 years, and shall be liable to fine. When there is an abatement to commit an offence which is punishable with death or imprisonment for life, and the act was not committed, in such case, and there is no express provision or punishment for that act, for that offence, then in such case the person abator will be liable for punishment which may extend to 7 years or with fine. But if any hurt is caused, that is, abatement is there for committing an offence punishable with death or imprisonment for life, and any hurt is caused by the person who has been abated, then in such case the abator shall be liable for the imprisonment up to 14 years and also liable to fine. 116, abatement of offence punishable imprisonment. The 115 is abatement for offence punishable with death or imprisonment for life. But here under section 116, abatement for an offence punishable with imprisonment. If offence be not committed, whoever two part, offence not committed and offence committed, or any hurt is caused. So what is the, if offence be, whoever abates an offence punishable with imprisonment, that is not punishable with death or imprisonment, but only imprisonment, shall, if that offence be not committed in consequence of abatement, if no offence is committed in consequence of that abatement, and no express provision is made by this court, no express provision in the Indian Penal Code for that offence, then in such case it shall be punished with imprisonment for either description which may, for a term which may extend to 1/4 part of the longest term provided for the offence. You should remember, when an act, the person abate the commission of an act which is punishable with death or imprisonment for life, and if the act is not committed, the offence is not committed, then, and no express provision, that punishable with imprisonment up to 7 years and fine. But if any hurt is committed, then 14 years and fine. But when somebody abates the commission of offence which is punishable with imprisonment only, and the act is not committed, then you will be liable to 1/4 of the sentence, longest term of the sentence, or the sentence provided for the offence, and any description provided for that offence, for a term which makes it 1/4 part of the longest term provided for the offence, or with such fine as is provided for that offence, or with both. But if abator or a person abated be a public servant whose duty it is to prevent offence, suppose a person who abates is a public servant and his duty is to prevent that. Suppose a police officer abet the commission of a theft, then there will be more punishment. That provision is there in section 116. What it says? And if the abater or the person abated is a public servant, both the abater and the person who has been abated, both are public servant, whose duty it is to prevent the commission of such offence, that the duty is to prevent commission of such offence, the abater shall be punished with imprisonment of any description provided for that offence. The abater will be liable for the punishment provided for that. Suppose a police officer abets a person to commit theft. In such case, he will be liable for the offence. He will be punished in this, for the same punishment provided for the theft. So, because similarly, if a person who abets, a person is the person who has been abated, he is a public servant. His duty is to prevent the offence. He commits that offence. Then, in such case, he will be liable as if for the longest term, imprisonment for any term provided for that, for a term which may extend to one half of the longest term provided for that offence, or with such fine as is provided for the offence. What it says? So, if abater or a person abated be a public servant, the person who abets, abater is a public servant, or the person who has been abated is a public servant, his duty is to prevent offence. And if the abater or the person abated is a public servant, whose duty it is to prevent the commission of such offence, the abater shall be punished with imprisonment or any exception provided for the offence for a term which may extend to one half of the longest term provided for that offence, or with such fine as is provided for the offence, or with both. Illustration will make you. A offers a bribe to B. A offers a public servant as a reward for showing some favor in the exercise of B's officer. B refuses to accept the bribe. A is punishable under this section. So A instigates B to give, that is one half of the sentence. A instigates B to give false evidence. Here, if B does not give false evidence, A has nevertheless committed the offence defined in this section and is punishable accordingly. A police officer whose duty it is to prevent robbery abets the commission of robbery. Here, though the robbery be not committed, A is liable to one half of the longest term of the imprisonment provided for the offence and also finable. Fine. B abets the commission of a robbery by a police officer whose duty it is to prevent that offence. Here, though the robbery be not committed, B is liable to what? One half of the longest term of imprisonment provided for the offence for robbery and also fine. Because more punishment is when there is an abatement to a public servant to commit an offence. 117. Abating commission of offence by the public servant or by more than 10 persons. There is an abatement for committing an offence by more than 10 persons. That is section 117. Whoever abet the commission of offence by the public generally, there is abatement for committing an offence by public generally, or by any number or class of person exceeding 10 by a mob, shall be punished with imprisonment or either description for a term which may extend to 3 years, or with fine, or with both. A affixes in public place a placard instigating a sect consisting of more than 10 members to meet at a certain time and place for the purpose of attracting the members of the adverse sect while engaged in a procession. A has committed the offence defined in this section. Now, concealing design to commit offence punishable with death or imprisonment for life, whoever intending to facilitate or knowing it to be likely that he will thereby facilitate the commission of offence punishable death or imprisonment for life, voluntarily conceals by any act or omission or by the use of encryption or any other information hiding tool the existence of a design to commit such offence or makes any representation which he knows to be false respecting such design. If offence be committed, this is also one kind of abatement. If offence be not committed, shall if that offence be committed, be punished with imprisonment or either description for a term which may extend to 7 years. If the offence be not committed, with imprisonment either description or for a term which may extend to 3 years. And either case shall also be liable to fine. Public servant, section 119, public servant concealing design to commit offence which it is his duty to prevent. This is not abatement, but is another section. Whoever being a public servant, intending to facilitate or knowing you to be likely that you will thereby facilitate the commission of offence, which it is duty as such public servant to prevent, then voluntarily concealed by any act or omission or by the use of encryption or any other information hiding tool, the existence of design to commit such offence or makes any representation which he knows to be false respecting such design. If offence be not committed, shall if the offence be committed be punishable with imprisonment either for the offence for a term which may extend to one half of the longest term provided for the offence, imprisonment, or with such fine. If the offence be punishable with the death, here is more punishment, or if the offence be punishable with the death or imprisonment for life, with imprisonment by either description for a term which may extend to 10 years. If offence be not committed, so in such case, or if the offence be not committed, shall be punished with imprisonment for either description provided for the offence for a term which may extend to 1/4. So these are very simple sections. You simply go through it and know it is information, like informative section. 120, concealing design to commit offence punishable with imprisonment. Similarly, whoever intending to facilitate or knowing it to be likely that he will thereby facilitate the commission of offence punishable with imprisonment, voluntarily conceals by any act or illegal omission the existence of a design. Design means there is a plan to commit such offence or make any representation which he knows to be false respecting such design. If offence be committed, if offence be not committed, shall if the offence be committed be punished with imprisonment for a description provided for the offence for a term which may extend to 1/4, and if the offence be not committed, 1/8 of the offence. Now this 120A and 120B are very important provisions. 120A, it is definition of criminal conspiracy. Sometimes it is very difficult to grasp the matter, grasp the definition. What is criminal conspiracy? Criminal conspiracy, when two or more persons agree to do or cause to be done. Agree to do. There is no agree, simply agree. Two or more persons agree to do or cause to be done. They agree that two or more persons, they cause to be done an illegal act or an act which is not illegal by illegal means. Illegal means such an agreement is designated as a criminal conspiracy. But one provision is there, provided that no agreement except an agreement to commit an offence shall amount to a criminal conspiracy unless some act besides the agreement is done by one or more parties to such agreement in pursuance thereto. So you should understand what is the definition of criminal conspiracy. Two or more persons agree to do or cause to be done an illegal act or an act which is not illegal but by illegal means. That will be treated as criminal conspiracy. That is definition. But one provision is added. When there is an agreement to do an offence, that will be treated as criminal conspiracy. But when that agreement is not to commit an offence, but an illegal act which is not an offence, or a legal act by illegal means which is not an offence, that will not be treated as criminal conspiracy unless some other act, unless some act besides that conspiracy, besides that agreement, has been done by one or more of such persons in agreement in pursuance thereof. Further act must be there. But simply, suppose X and Y, they agreed to commit murder. So here, that amounts to criminal conspiracy. But A and B, they agreed that B is entitled for taking possession of house. B and B agreed that they should take possession of the house, but by using force. So that is a legal act because he is entitled to, somebody is in occupation of house as a tenant. The landlord has a right to re-entry. That is legal act, but by illegal means. But that will not be treated as a criminal conspiracy unless some other act besides that agreement is committed, is done. So, you know, mere this mensaria without any act for any crime, what are the four requirements? There must be a person, mens rea, actus reus, and injury. In every crime, four elements must be there. There must be a person. A person must commit a crime. Animal cannot commit a crime. Person. There must be a evil intention. That is means a guilty mind. And a mens rea, some actus reus, some actus, some act is there, and there is injury. But here, when two persons, they simply conspire, they simply agree to kill somebody. Why it is committed? Why it is treated as a crime? If I think in my mind to commit somebody's murder, or X thinks to commit somebody's murder, so that will not be treated as a crime. Because for crime, all those four ingredients must be there. But there must be a person, mens rea, actus reus, injury. But here, this criminal conspiracy is an inchoate crime. It is not complete, but why it is punishable? Because when two persons, their mens rea is agreed, mens rea joins, thereby they are encouraged. To discourage it, the punishment is prescribed. Criminal conspiracy. When two persons conspire, agree to commit an offense, that is punishable. That is punishable. But if a person, he thinks to commit an offense, that is not punishable. So that's why you see this is, that is encouraged, thereby they are encouraged to commit a crime. To check it, to check such act, punishment is that in criminal conspiracy is treated as an offense. When two persons meets to commit an offense. But here a legal act is committed, but that is by illegal means. That will not be treated as, unless it is an offense, that will not be a criminal conspiracy. If any other act, besides the agreement, any other act is done by one or more persons to such agreement in pursuance thereof. So, explanation says, it is immaterial whether the illegal act is the ultimate object of such agreement or is merely incidental to that object. Illegal act is not by illegal means. So here, an illegal act, explanation, it is immaterial whether the illegal act is the ultimate object or such agreement or is merely incidental to that object. If incidental to that object, some illegal act is done. So, what are the requirement of a criminal conspiracy? What is? The essence of a criminal conspiracy is the unlawful combination, and ordinarily the offense is complete when the combination is framed. Here, when there is a combination of two persons' intention, that is punishable, and for committing a crime, that is to be treated as criminal conspiracy. It is necessarily followed that unless the statute so requires, no overt act need be done in furtherance of the conspiracy, that the object of the combination need not be accomplished. So you should know what is criminal conspiracy. If a person, two or more persons agree what to do or cause to be done, an illegal act. If an illegal act is not an offense, then that will not be treated as criminal conspiracy unless some other act besides that agreement was done or was committed, was done by one or more parties to such agreement in pursuance to that agreement. But when there is an agreement to commit a crime, that will be treated as criminal conspiracy. Similarly, an act which is not illegal by illegal means, such an agreement is designated as a criminal conspiracy. This is 120A defines what is criminal conspiracy. 125B provides punishment for criminal conspiracy. Whoever is a party to a criminal conspiracy to commit an offense punishable with death, imprisonment for life, or rigorous imprisonment for a term of 2 years or upwards, shall, when no express provision is made, a person is a party to a criminal conspiracy which is punishable with death, imprisonment for life, or rigorous imprisonment exceeding 2 years, for a term of 2 years or upwards, shall, when no express provision is made in this chapter, for the punishment of such a conspiracy, be punishable, punished in the same manner as if he had abated such offense. So that's why it should be read with the abated. Abatement. What is abatement? 107. Engages in a criminal conspiracy. Engages in a conspiracy. That is to be treated as abatement. 107 says, what? Thirdly, intentionally aids. Secondly, engages with one or more other person or person in any conspiracy for doing of that thing. If an act or illegal omission takes place in pursuance of the conspiracy and in order to the doing of that thing, that will be treated as abatement. But here it has been provided that whoever is a party to a criminal conspiracy to commit an offense, punishable with death, imprisonment for life, rigorous imprisonment exceeding 2 years or upwards, shall, when no express provision is made in this code for the punishment of such conspiracy, be punishable, be punished in the same manner as if he had abated such offense. Whoever is a party to a criminal conspiracy, other than a criminal conspiracy to commit an offense, punishable as aforesaid, shall be punished with the imprisonment or either detention for a term not exceeding 6 months. So when there is a criminal conspiracy which is not an offense, which is a party to an offense, a party in such case, he will be punished with imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 months or with fine or with both. Now, 121, that is, these are all offenses against the state. Section 121, you see, in the year 1860, this Indian Penal Code was enacted. By then, this British government had made strict law how to curb the freedom struggle. That is, to curb the freedom struggle, more punishment has been prescribed. Whenever there is some rebellion, to check this rebel or to check the movement, freedom movement. So here, this is, those are treated as very serious offenses and more punishments are prescribed for offenses against the state. So this chapter 6 provides waging or attempting to wage war or abetting waging of war against the government of India. All are punishable with same punishment. What is waging or attempting to wage war or abatement of waging war? Again, whoever wages war against the government of India or attempts to wage such war or abet the waging of such war shall be punished with death, imprisonment of life, and shall also be liable fine. You see, simply waging war, attempting to waging war, abatement of waging war, but again the government of India, that shall be punished with imprisonment which may death sentence or imprisonment for life, and shall also be liable for fine. Now, 121A, conspiracy to commit offense punishable by section 121. Section 121 says, whoever wages war, attempts to wage war, or abets the waging of war shall be punished with imprisonment, the death, imprisonment for life, or fine. But section 121A provides, whoever within or without India, even outside India, conspires to commit any of the offense punishable by section 121. What are those offenses? Waging war, or attempt to wage war, or abatement to wage war against the government of India. Whoever conspires, either in India or without India, or conspires to overthrow by means of criminal force or the show of criminal force the central government or any state government, overthrow, that will conspire to overthrow by means of this, this government, either state government or central government, shall be punished with imprisonment for life. You see how there's more punishment is prescribed, or simply for conspiracy, shall be punished with imprisonment for life or with imprisonment for either description, which may extend to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. This explanation, to constitute a conspiracy under this section, it is not necessary that any act or illegal omission shall take place in pursuance thereof. So here simply as required under section this that is conspiracy as defined in section 120A. Here it has been provided that to constitute a conspiracy under this section, under section 121A, it is not necessary that an act or illegal omission shall take place in pursuance thereof. So now, 122, collecting arms, etc., with intent of waging war against the government of India. Whoever collects arms means being arms, ammunition, or otherwise prepares to wage war. Here, preparing is an offense. With the intention of either waging or being prepared to wage war against the government of India, shall be punished with imprisonment for life. Simply collection of men, arms, ammunition, or preparation with an to wage war against the government of India shall be punished with imprisonment for life or with imprisonment for either description for a term not exceeding 10 years. Then and shall also be liable fine. That concealing with intent to facilitate design to wage war. If a person knows that somebody is about to wage war against the government of India and he knows that plan and he conceals that plan, conceals that design, he is punishable under section 123. What it says? Whoever by any act or by any illegal omission, which duty is to give information to the police, any act or by illegal omission, conceal the existence of a design to wage war against the government of India, intending by such concealment to facilitate or knowing it to be likely that such concealment will facilitate. If a conceals and intention is that by such concealment of design to wage war that will facilitate the waging of such war, shall be punished with imprisonment either destined for a term which may extend to 10 years and also will be liable to fine. Now, assaulting president, governor, etc., with intent to compel or restrain the exercise of any lawful power. Whoever, with the intention of inducing or compelling the president, compelling the president or the governor of any state to exercise or refrain from exercising any manner, any of the lawful powers of president or governor, assaults, wrongful restraints, or attempt to wrongfully to restrain, or overruns by means of criminal force, the show of criminal force, or attempt so to overrun such president or governor, that is, shall be punished with imprisonment for either description for a term which may extend to 7 years and also liable to fine. This 124A is a very, very important provision. Sometimes you get question, what is sedition? What is sedition? Sedition is defined in section 124A. What is sedition? Sedition sometimes it is a libel, like a libel against the government. Whoever by words, either spoken or written, that words, whoever by words, either by written words or by speaking, or by sign or by visible representation. You see, by speech, whoever by words by speech, in writing, or by sign, or by visible representation, or otherwise, brings or attempt to bring into hatred. Hatred means to bring hate. Who brings or attempt to bring, both are hatred or contempt. Contempt means government should not be obeyed, disobey the government. Or excites or attempts to excite. What excites? Disaffection towards the government established by law in India. This section 124A. There are various case laws in this. It is tested time and again by the Supreme Court. There are different case laws. Many case laws, sometimes this law commission has also given a report how this sedition is misused. Sometimes whoever by words, either spoken or written, or by signs or by visible representation. That word may be either written or by speaking words. That again the government of India established by law, or excites or attempt to excite, disaffection. Excites or attempt to excite, disaffection toward the government established by law in India, shall be punished with imprisonment for life to which fine may be added, or with imprisonment which may extend to 3 years, to which fine may be added, or with fine. You see how this offence is punishable with imprisonment of life, simultaneously, or imprisonment up to 3 years, or fine. So, what is sedition? You should understand. There must be speaking words, or written words, or by sign, or by visible representation. Whoever brings or attempts to bring hatred or contempt. Hatred means bringing hate, or this contempt, not to disobedience to government. Brings hatred or brings or attempt to bring hatred or contempt, or excites or attempt to excite disaffection. So, 3 words you should: hatred, contempt, disaffection. Excites or attempt to excite disaffection. Again, the government established by law in India shall be punished with imprisonment for life, to which fine may be added, or with imprisonment which may extend to 3 years, to which fine may be added. Explanation. The expression disaffection includes disloyalty and all feelings of enmity. What is disaffection? Disaffection means that explanation provides disloyalty or all bringings and not all feelings of enmity, and all feelings of enmity. Explanation 2, comments expressing disapprobation of the measure of the government with a view to obtain their alteration by lawful means without exciting or attempting to excite hatred. You might have seen the agitation against CA. So comments expressing this, that the comments expressing disapprobation of the measures of the government with a view to obtain their alteration by lawful means, with a view to obtain alteration by lawful means without exciting or attempt to excite hatred, contempt, or disaffection. Without exciting, without attempting to bring hatred, contempt, or disaffection, do not constitute an offense under this section. Explanation 3 says, comments expressing disapprobation of the administration or other action of the government without exciting or attempt to excite hatred, contempt, or disaffection do not constitute an offense under this section. Sometimes, while answering the question, what is sedition, you do not mention this explanation. That is, when a comment is expressed, comment expressing disapprobation of the measures of the government, what? With a view to obtain their alteration of the certain laws, etc., by lawful means, without exciting or attempting to excite hatred, contempt, or disaffection, do not constitute an offense of under this section. Similarly, explanation 3 says, comments expressing disapprobation of the administrative or other action of the government. Administrative action of the government was not appreciated, disapprobation, or other action of the government without exciting or attempting to excite hatred, contempt, or disaffection do not constitute an offense under this section. So you should understand what is section of sedition. Sedition means that is whoever either by words, either speaking or by written form or by sign or visible representation, brings or attempts to bring what? Hatred or contempt, or excites or attempt to excite disaffection. Again, the government of India established by law, government of India established by law shall be punished with imprisonment. You see, life imprisonment is prescribed, simultaneously 3 years imprisonment is there, also fine may be added. So explanation says, what is disaffection? Disaffection means disloyalty, includes disloyalty and all feelings of enmity. Comments disapprobation of the measure of the government with a view to obtain their alteration by lawful means. Comments is made, alteration of any lawful means without exciting or attempt to excite hatred, contempt, or disaffection do not constitute an offense under this section. Similarly, comments expressing disapprobation of the administrative or other action of the government without exciting or attempting to excite hatred, contempt, or disaffection do not constitute an offense under this section. So now, let us conclude. In next class, we'll discuss the other provisions. Thank you all.